Hello everyone, today we aim to address some essential functions for developing dashboards in the Excel software. Let us start with the basic operators. We have 4 basic operators including addition, subtraction, division and multiplication. In this table we have a list of the projects. Now we want to extend this table using the basic operators. We are adding a new column to calculate the duration of the projects. To determine the duration, we just need to subtract the finish date from the start date. To do this, first we type the equal sign, then we select the finish date cell, next we type the subtraction, and finally we select the start date cell. We also need to change the format of this cell from % to number to see the duration of the project. We will extend this formula for other rows as well. We just need to drag it down to apply to other rows. Now we aim to add another column and calculate the planned progress value. To calculate the planned progress value, we should subtract the today date cell from the start date cell of the project, then we should divide it by the duration of the project. It should be noted that in this case, we should put the subtraction in parentheses because the division will be done before subtraction. As we can see, the planned values have been calculated. We are changing their format to percentage. Those values that are higher than 100% mean the project is delayed significantly and could be finished till now. Now, we aim to calculate the average value of the actual progress values for all of the projects. To do this, we will calculate the summation of all progress values, and then we will divide by the number of values. Although we could use the average function directly, we tried to work with basic operators in this lesson. Now we are going to learn the if function, which is one of the most important functions in the Excel software. If function in Excel is a logical function that evaluates a condition and returns a value if the condition is true, or another value if the condition is false. It is used for making decisions or performing calculations based on certain criteria. Now, we are adding a new column and we will calculate the planned progress value for all of the projects in this table. As you know, to calculate the planned progress value, we should subtract the today date cell from the start date cell of the project, and then we should divide it by the duration of the project. Now we aim to add another column and call it delayed to show which projects are delayed using the if function. To do this, we need to type the equal sign in the cell and type if. To see the argument or input of the if function better, we can click on the insert function button. As we can see, there are 3 main inputs or arguments for the if function. The first one is the logical test. This is the logical test that you want to perform. It can be a comparison, arithmetic expression, or any formula that returns a logical value. In this example, we want to compare the actual progress with the planned progress. We assume that the value of actual progress is less than the value of the planned progress. The second argument of the if function is value if true. This is the value that you want to return if the condition is true. It can be a number, text, formula, or cell reference. Here we want to define that if the actual progress is less than the value of the planned progress, show yes to the user. The third argument of the if function is value if false. This is the value that you want to return if the condition is false. It can be a number, text, formula, or cell reference. If this argument is omitted, the function returns a blank space by default. Here we want to define that if the actual progress is not less than the value of the planned progress, show no to the user. By clicking on OK, we can see the result. Since the value of actual progress is less than the value of the planned progress, it shows yes to us. The situation seems the same for all of the projects. We calculated the planned progress value already. However, as we can see, some values are more than 100%, which seems to be not logical. Now we aim to use the if function to correct the planned values. In this if function, we aim to define that if the planned progress value is greater than 100%, replace that with 100%. If the value of planned progress is less than 100%, show the original planned value without any change. Therefore, our logical test is the planned progress value greater than 100%. Value if true should be defined as 100%. Value if false should be defined as the original value of the planned progress. By clicking on OK, the corrected planned value will be calculated and we won't find any value greater than 100%. Now we aim to learn the VLOOKUP function. The VLOOKUP function in Excel is a lookup function used to search for a specific value in the leftmost column of a table and return a corresponding value in the same row from another column in the table. The function is commonly used for data analysis and management, especially when dealing with large amounts of data. Here, we have a table with several columns. We aim to find the value of the actual progress for project 1 using the VLOOKUP function. First, we type the equal sign. Next, we are typing the VLOOKUP function. This function includes 4 arguments or inputs. The first argument is the lookup value. It is the value to search for in the leftmost column of the table. In our example, the lookup value is the name of the project, which is project 1. The second argument is the table array. It is the range of cells that makes up the table. The third argument is the column index number. It is the number of the column in the table from which to return the value. Since we need to extract the actual progress, the column index number is 4 in our example. The fourth argument is the range lookup. It is an optional argument that specifies whether to perform an approximate match or an exact match. Since we need an exact match, we are selecting false here. As we can see, the actual progress for project 1 is retrieved from the table on the left side of the sheet. Now, if we change project 1 to project 4, the actual progress will be updated automatically. Now, we're going to learn the match index in Excel software. The match index function in Excel software is a combination of 2 functions, match and index. The match function finds the position of a value in a range of cells, while the index function returns the value at a given position in a range. By using these functions together, match index helps to look up a value in a table or range by searching for a specific row and column header. This function is useful when you have a large amount of data and want to quickly find and retrieve specific information from it. Now, we aim to search for project 2 where the column name is Finish. First, we start with the index function. The index function contains 3 arguments. The first argument is the array. This is the range of cells or arrays from which we want to retrieve the data. Since we need a cell value where the row of project 2 and the finish column cross each other, we should enter the row and column number as 2 in the index formula. Here, we could retrieve the value in our array where the row and column number was 2. However, we don't want to enter the row and column numbers manually. Therefore, we should use the match function to extract the row and column numbers automatically. The match function in Excel has 3 arguments. The first argument is the lookup value. This is the value that we want to find a match for within the range. Here, we aim to find the finish. The second argument is the lookup array. This is the range of cells that we want to search in for the lookup value. It will be the start, finish, and actual progress columns in our example. The third argument is match type. This is an optional argument that specifies the type of match we want to perform and can be set to 0, 1, or -1. If the match type is set to 0, Excel will find an exact match. If the match type is set to 1, Excel will find the largest value that is less than or equal to the lookup value, and if the match type is set to -1, Excel will find the smallest value that is greater than or equal to the lookup value. In our lessons, we need an exact match. Therefore, we type 0. As we can see, the column number is calculated. We will do the same process to extract the row number for project 2. Please see carefully to learn the match function. The row number for project 2 is determined. Now we should link these cells to the index function to make its rows and columns dynamic. Now, if we change the project 2 or the finish, the lookup value will be updated based on them automatically. Now we aim to learn the XLOOKUP in Excel software. XLOOKUP is a new function in Microsoft Excel added in 2019, which allows users to find and retrieve information in a table or range by specifying lookup values and matching it to corresponding values in another column. This function provides much more flexibility compared to the traditional VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP functions, as it allows you to search for exact match, approximate match, and even search from right to left. In addition, it can return multiple results and handle errors with ease. In this example, we aim to find the actual progress for project 4 using XLOOKUP. We are typing the equal sign and then the XLOOKUP function. As we can see, this function has 6 arguments. The first argument is the lookup value. This is the value or cell reference that you want to look up and retrieve the corresponding result for. In our example, it is project 4. The second argument is the lookup array. This is the range or array of data that you want to search for the lookup value. In our example, it is a range from project 1 to project 5. The third argument is the return array. This is the range or array of data that you want to retrieve the result from. In our example, it is the actual progress values. The next argument is if not found. This is an optional argument that lets you specify what value to return if the lookup value is not found in the lookup array. In our example, we would like to define it as not found. The next argument is match mode. This is an optional argument that lets you specify the match mode. It usually can be set to exact match or approximate match. In our example, we need the exact match. The next argument is the search mode. This is another optional argument that lets you specify the search mode. It can be set to search from first to last or last to first. In our example, we select first to last. As we can see, the XLOOKUP function works very well, and we could find the actual progress for project 4. Also, if we change project 4 to project 6, it shows not found because project 6 is not defined in our table. Now we are going to address the ifError function. ifError is a function in Excel software that lets us handle errors in a formula. It checks for an error value and returns a specified value if the formula results in an error. Here, we aim to add a new column and calculate the schedule performance of the project. We simply divide the actual progress by the planned progress. As we can see, we faced an error for project 6 because the both values of actual progress and planned progress are 0. Now, we aim to use the ifError function to solve this issue. It is very easy to use the ifError function because it has 2 arguments. The first argument is the value, which is the schedule performance here, and the second argument is the value ifError. In our example, we would like to return 0 if we face an error. Now, we can see the value of schedule performance for project 6 has been corrected and it shows 0. In the last part of this lesson, we aim to learn 3 functions including left, right, and mid. Here we are going to add a new column and create ID for the projects and portfolios based on their names using left, right, and mid functions. The left function in Excel is a text function that lets us extract a specified number of characters from the beginning of a text string. It has 2 simple arguments. The first argument is the text, and the second argument is the number of characters that we need to extract. In our example, we need to extract 2 characters from the project or portfolio names from the left side. Therefore, we should enter 2 for the second argument. Also, we need to extract 1 character from the right side of the project name. First, we should use AND, then type the right function. The arguments of the right function are exactly similar to the left function. However, the right function extracts the characters from the right side. In our example, we need to extract one character from the right side. As we can see, we could create ID for the projects and portfolios using the combination of left and right functions. Now, we aim to create ID column again, but this time we want to use the mid and right functions. The mid function in Excel is a text function used to extract a substring from a string of text. It has 3 arguments. The first one is the text, and the second argument is the start number. The start number is the starting position from where you want to extract characters. And the last argument is the number of characters that we need to extract. Also, we will type the rest part of the formula similar to the previous ID column. As we can see, we could create the ID column again, but we used a combination of mid and right functions. The mid function is more flexible than the left function. In this lesson, we learned several functions such as if, VLOOKUP, index match, XLOOKUP, and so on. These are the basic concepts for creating dashboards in Excel software. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel for future tutorials. Also, if you have any problem regarding this lesson, please leave a comment for us. Thank you everyone. Till then, take care